What?
A bunch of
Looking
these
better
I
for
already.
you?
Well, first of all, it's formatted nicer. And also I've actually played, like, I can tell you a lot of these. Also, it's more readable.
Okay.
This is the one. This is the one we're doing. Roguelite's tier list template, ultimate version 1.0 tier list maker. Let me I mean, what music do we go with? What if I look on Spotify and just put roguelite? What comes up? There has to be a playlist, right? What is this? Chill, roguelike, and stuff. Perfect. Here we go. Let's get our roguelike music going in the background. Ooh, starting with some Risk of Rain intro. I like it. I like it. Okay. Do you want a list of this so you can do one as well? Or do you want to just follow along?
I can.
Here, I'll give you a...
I'll follow along. I can just follow along.
Well, I'm going to give it to you
It's like
in a DM, and then if you want to,
Alright.
you can. If you don't, then you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a wish I never played category. Oof.
Pretty good.
Oof. Okay. So, Binding of Isaac. Let's start with the showstopper, right? It is one of the quintessential roguelikes ever. Like,
They do have a separate thing for Rebirth.
yeah, they do. But, like, the
Which,
original
like,
set the stage for a lot of this stuff. To the point where, on TDP, anytime I'm talking about a roguelike with, like, items that change your run, I basically make mention of Binding of Isaac. For the last, like, 10 years of my life, basically. Like... It's so good. This is probably in the awesome category, and that's only because Rebirth is in the Supreme, because it's the better version.
Yeah.
So it's weird, because Binding of Isaac is actually not very good, and it never really has been, but it set, like, the pace, right? I think Isaac, Rebirth, Afterbirth, all that shit that came after Rebirth is top tier. It's one of the best roguelites ever made, and probably ever will be, frankly.
It continued, like, Rebirth continues to be, like, it's the thing that I compared that entire genre to.
Yeah.
Because I have to. Like,
yeah.
I haven't come close to putting 1,000 hours in another game.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that I know of. That's not, like, Call of Duty or Halo 3 or something.
Totally.
Yeah, it just does everything I want it to do.
Sure, I agree with you. Okay, Hades. Hades has some weird issues with it. Not because it's a bad game, but because it's very recent. It hasn't completely come out in its final form yet of, like, how great it could be. And I think it's in the early stages of a roguelike where it's obviously going to be better, but it's still strong enough as it is right now that I think it's definitely at least a cool for me. But I think it still has room to grow. I do turn it off after a few runs, where some of these other ones, I get sucked in for hours.
So
Hades, I do turn off.
Put, like, I actually haven't, I haven't put a ton of time into it, like 13 hours, and that was pretty early on.
Sure.
So, like, I know there's a lot that's changed. Unless they've done something different, it's not, it's so solid, and I want to put it higher, but and I'm gonna revisit it. Like, I want to sink way more time into it because it is good.
Yeah.
But it might never. I don't think it's going. It might get to awesome, but I don't think it's never. I don't think it's gonna get out of that. And my reasoning is, like, yeah, you're getting stuff that can change your run, but at the end of the day, it's nothing that's it's not spicy.
No,
Like, it's not enough.
What
You know?
Hades' problem is that everything that you get in it builds more power into how you like do, because the enemies get like just tankier and harder to kill and like can do more damage to you. So it just empowers what you've already started with. It doesn't give you new things to change your run with significantly. And I think that's where its problem lies.
And occasionally it does, but it's like
It's so rare.
maybe once or twice on a run, maybe.
Yeah.
And in something like, I mean, in Isaac, fuck, you can get a run-changing item like every floor in theory. Like,
but
there's
I mean,
stuff that just like, okay, we're doing this now.
The run-changing stuff you're referring to for Hades is primarily like, do I do lightning damage or poison now? Like, it's not like it's huge things, really.
I wasn't even thinking of that. I was thinking of like, oh, you fire one big shot now. Slightly slower instead of like that sort of thing where it's like it is different, but also it's not.
There's not enough of those though, is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely has room to grow. I don't know that it ever gets out of better category, like the B category.
Yeah. And I feel like it might end up there.
Yeah, I think it definitely will.
If they do something like, and maybe like the other things that it has going for it carry it into the awesome category. I'm allowing it to maybe do
grow.
That.
It could grow more. I don't think it's ever going to be supreme. I just don't. It's not revolutionary in any way. It's just good at what it does. FTL. Okay.
I have not played very much. I played this game so long ago that I didn't give it a fair chance. But from what I remember, I would place it at cool right now, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think it should be higher, but it's been so long.
I'm gonna put FTL at better for me. The reason being that I really, really, really like tactical strategy things, and FTL is the perfect amount of just like stressful situation and forcing you to think on the fly with tactics like all the time to change up. Basically, it's weird because so far what we had in this list are games where you build a run to be stronger. FTL, you're building survival to just like get through it, basically. Like, you never really feel strong. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that you're pushed like the whole time. That being said, it is real hard to play multiple sessions of it because it breaks you down as a human being pretty quickly. This was lower for me, but ever since it came out on like iPad and like you can play it on the go, it's gone up like significantly for me. But like sitting down at the PC has been terrible. Like on phone?
Android,
I don't know. Let me take a look if it's on Android.
Or even something else. That could be a good, like, Switch even would be nice.
I have it on we have an older iPad, so I have it on that. FTL Android, let me see. No. It is not on Android. Yeah.
Okay. Sad, but whatever.
Yeah. Don't Starve.
Haven't played.
I think Don't Starve is the perfect example of it was okay.
Yeah.
A survival game at heart.
Are we actually... Yeah, like, is it even a roguelite? Like, should that be on my list?
It is, because every time you... there is permadeath, and then you have to restart, and it's a new world, and you have to, like, survive again. So, it is different.
Okay, so it's like... It's a roguelite in the same way that a hardcore Terraria character is roguelite. Or a hard mode, hardcore.
Oh god, no. No. The world changes completely. Yeah, like, it's run-based, basically.
Yeah, but if I died If I were to do a new, so it's like Terraria if I did a new world and character each time I died.
Yeah, there's different characters in Don't Starve as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how long does a run take then?
It depends if you're good or not. I am not, so for me, not long. Maybe an hour.
Like I assumed it was a thing where like you're playing for like 200 hours at a crack with a character.
I mean, you could, but not generally, because I think there is an end where you like just serve. There is a point where you can just like self-sustain yourself with a farm and shit.
Okay.
I think it's decent. I don't know. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad. It's totally fine. And those are the hardest ones to talk about, frankly. Because it's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. So, desktop dungeons I never played.
Same.
Legend of Dungeon.
Also never played.
I just want to be sure here. Because some of these more generic names mix in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, I have not played this one. Also, I'm going to close my older list here. Hammerwatch.
I'd never played.
So Hammerwatch is for me. Heroes of Hammerwatch we'll get to if it's on here. It probably is somewhere. I will say it bothers me when they don't upload the pictures like in alphabetical order. And I know it's hard to do, but the way you do that is by naming each file what they are in alphabetical order and then uploading all of them at the same time and not adding like every they probably added a batch.
I don't think they have Heroes of Hammerwatch on here.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. So
Hammerwatch 1 was fine, but
yeah,
it was also like not important.
Okay. So where would you put, since it's not on here, where would you put Heroes of Hammerwatch?
I would say cool, but only because of multiplayer.
Yeah.
Single player, it's probably in the same category.
Yeah.
Later, Meowth.
That's basically where I have it in my list.
Spelunky is one of the best games ever made. Just straight up. So Spelunker back in the day was like the prototype version. Spelunky still stands to be one of the best run-based games you could play. Down to the point, like, it's been all seen now because the game's been out forever, and Spelunky 2, I'm sure, is going to have that feeling again of discovery, but for a long time, Spelunky was all about just getting to the end, and then it's like, oh shit, not only do you get to the end, but now, like, you should go check out the other subworlds, or did you go to the City of Gold? Did you go to Hell? And, like, the community just, like, learned something every month, basically, as they played more and more.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun, especially when you're playing with friends. It becomes this weird, like, mayhem garbage thing. And then your friends die, they turn into ghosts that can blow wind at you or blow wind at things to activate them to fuck you over or to help you. It's just such a good fucking game. I love it so much.
So I put 2 hours into Spelunky, and the reason it's so low is it was just another one that, like, I ended up playing before I was ready. Like, I'm gonna hit it back
before I was ready.
Like, I wasn't in the headspace for it, so I'm actually putting it in gonna play. I'm not gonna consider it played, honestly.
Sure. Oh, good. There's the follow bots. Great. Oh, I'm getting like 1,000 followers. Somebody's botting me, so I'm gonna put a marker in stream because I'm probably gonna have to tell them that that's happening.
Wild.
Yeah, it's awesome. Good old Twitch, man. Well, sorry, I'm just gonna take off the overlay so there's no more like shout outs going on and shit. It's also like crashing my browser because of all the
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Okay, whatever. We don't need chat anyway. Rogue Legacy. Man, Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
So I think for now, no, I think this goes under cool. It does a lot of cool things. I felt like when they made it, they knew what they were making. They had a vision for it. They followed through completely, and it was great.
Yeah.
But they never took it to a next level. And it's one of those games that you beat, which automatically makes it lose like a few points in my head. Like it has an end. You know what I mean? And like Spelunky has an end as well. But they also had like a daily challenge and different like little challenges and leaderboards to like see if you could do better than other people per day and like different seeds and whatnot. Rogue Legacy was literally just like a story mode that you could brute force your way through with different characters and like upgrade to the point where you won't lose in your final run. And while that's fun, and like there is something to be said about an ending in a game and it just feels like you beat the game and it feels satisfying, that like frankly Binding of Isaac doesn't have, and like it kind of loses out a little bit because of it, where it's just like, well, I don't want to play more Binding of Isaac right now because it doesn't matter. Like I'm never gonna beat it, so whatever. Rogue Legacy, it's a double-edged sword, because Rogue Legacy is like, okay, I beat it, but now I'm not gonna play it again, you know? So it's a cool product, but it's been like, I've been there, I've done it, and I don't have to again. So it's just, I don't know, they needed to do more to like add to it or something, maybe semi-regularly if they wanted to keep it going. I also don't think that Cellar Door Games wanted to. I think they were happy with just putting out a product that had an end that they didn't have to like tinker with every month or whatever. So it's fair. It's fine.
Yeah.
Did you like Rogue Legacy? Did I just accidentally somewhat shit on your favorite game?
No, I was real into that game, and the reason I never like saw it through was because after like 18 or 20 hours or even more, I didn't realize that it didn't do cloud saving and lost my save file via moving to a new PC. So I just kind of never, I tried like getting back into it, but it felt terrible, like starting over.
Sure. Yeah.
Which maybe that's a testament to why it's just decent. Like I didn't feel like going through it again.
Yeah.
And it's good. I think I've grown to like that general style of roguelite where it's like the same shit, but you just die and get stronger.
Sure.
As opposed to like dying and unlocking new things.
Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nuclear Throne. So Nuclear Throne for a long time for me was cool until I learned how to play it, and then it became better. And that's where it kind of sits for me now. The biggest problem I have with Nuclear Throne is that sometimes it feels like you just get fucked, like completely in what you got to work with and like what character you are. I like how many characters there are though, like different characters in the game and how different every single one of them plays. I like their system of you're collecting radiation to mutate yourself, just by like the conceit of how kind of neat that is in this world, and like the upgrades are pretty important to get, and like you build like strong runs with them. There is a problem in that situation though, where there is objectively the right way to play depending on what you have and don't have and what your problems are with what characters you are. So if you can get the wrong perks And I think that's like kind of a death knell for this genre of just like, oh, if you don't get like thrown butt as this character, like you're just wrong because it's so good. It's like you should get it all the time. And I think that's a big failure. And I think that could be fixed if they went back into Nuclear Throne and like gave you just like 100 more options or something, because it's a limited pool of things that they give you to upgrade yourself with. The focus really is the gunplay though, and the different guns in it. So I guess I'm not too mad about that, because that's kind of where your strength lies anyways, is what guns you have, and then your perks kind of just like upgrade how powerful they are or what they do from there. It is obnoxiously loud and in your face, and I kind of like it, but I also kind of hate it. It's not the type of game that like I would just play at any time, because there is a lot of screen shake. There's a lot of things just like firing off all the time. You can get guns where it's just nothing but fucking like explosion noises anytime you do anything. Yeah, it's a real cool game. I really wish they had officially put in like co-op support, but the fact that it was modded by the community actually is like really what put it under better, because playing this with friends is super fun. I love it. Yeah.
I still have Nuclear. I mean, I guess like the bit I played, I would put it at like cool, and I think room to grow. I think it, after I put more time into it on my own, it will certainly be better. I don't think it'll climb to awesome, but like I'm in that area where I haven't played enough to feel comfortable like talking about it too much.
Sure.
I've enjoyed the times that we've played it a little bit. Like it's been enjoyable. I've really liked it. The characters especially, like the uniqueness of the characters and how it plays.
Totally.
Yeah, it's good shit.
It is good shit. Invisible Ink. I'm gonna put this under cool because I love tactics games, and this is a tactics game. It's that simple.
I had this on my wish list for so fucking long, and I was looking so forward to it because it's like the same studio that did Mark of the Ninja, right? And
it is, yeah, Clay.
I haven't played it.
Okay.
It's been so long. I've owned it for such a long time, but yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Also, I just got a key for Bloody Rally Show, the game you were saying.
Fuck yeah.
That's funny.
Hell yeah.
Crypt of the Necrodancer. I'm going to put this under awesome because, first of all, the music is so fucking good. It can't be understated how fucking good that music. I listen to that music still, like, just, like, irrespective of the game. It's just that good. The gameplay is unique. It's completely different than anything else. Like, even now on this list, it's the only thing like itself out of all of these.
What about Hyrule Cadence?
It's not on here. It's not on this list.
I mean, it's the same fucking thing, so.
I know, but I literally said on this list. It's the only thing that plays like it on this list.
Okay.
It's just completely revolutionary in how it plays, and it's hard to replicate. I think it's probably hard to do properly, but somehow they pulled it off, and I absolutely love it. The only problem I have with it, again, is that it kind of has an ending. At least they added in other characters that play differently, so there is replayability, and some of those characters and like some situations that game puts you in are fucking brutal, but at least you have fun the whole time because the music is bumping.
Yeah. It's hovering at like a cool and decent for me. That the way it plays just doesn't jive with me.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I could definitely see it.
4 hours.
Yeah,
I've tried playing Hyrule Cadence for a bit. I'm gonna go back and like try to really like sink into it a bit because
sure,
I think I can, but it's just such a weird way to play, and it might just not ever click with me because it's so different. But the music is fucking bumping. I listen to 4 hours only, and I still listen to the soundtrack. Like I know the music far better than I know that game at all.
Yeah, that's fair. Crypt is definitely something I think you put in my spot, an A ranking, or in your spot, a D. I don't think it's mediocre. You either like it or you don't. And I think that's very, like, I think everybody kind of likes the music in some way, but you're right. The gameplay is very polarizing. That's very true. I like it because I like I used to play, was it just called Tap Tap Revolution? It's like the keyboard version of Dance Dance Revolution or whatever. Yeah. So like, this is my shit. Like, it's a keyboard, cause I play it with keyboard. Like, it's a keyboard fucking rhythm game. That's like in dungeon crawler. It's so my shit. It's ridiculous. In fact, it might be supreme, but for some reason it doesn't feel that high to me, so it's not. Like, I don't have a reason why it's not that high. It just doesn't feel like it's cut from the same cloth of quality that Spelunky and Isaac is for me. Oh my god, Risk of Rain. So Risk of Rain is probably an S for me. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played. I still go back to it. I've bought it multiple times. I still play it on like the Switch every now and then. Even like with Risk of Rain 2 out, there's still something about the sense of scale that this game had when it first came out, of you playing just like a shitty little dude and like it's so zoomed out. And then the screen just fills with dudes, or like has one giant dude in it that you have to try to take out. Yeah. Or worst case scenario, a whole bunch of little dudes and a giant dude, or a bunch of giant dudes. And like, it does the Binding of Isaac thing of it has the items that can significantly power up, or like your run or whatever. It can fuck you over so bad. It has different worlds has different biomes for each level until like the end. The end is challenging to get to and beat. But when you do, you're greeted with like a pretty cool boss fight, but some of the best music in any video game. That final fucking level music just like sings to me every time. I can feel my soul shudder every time I hear it. It's so fucking good. Like, everything about that fucking game, man, is like S tier for me, easily.
Yeah, that makes sense. God, it feels like I'm in every fucking game on this list. I'm in a weird spot with. I slept a little on Risk of Rain. I remember it was like, I remember playing with you a few times on PC and like got kicked out because the multiplayer is shit.
That's the biggest problem with it. The multiplayer is really bad. Yeah, that's true.
So it was fun, and the music is dope. I like the style of it. My big complaint is kind of like the levels.
Okay.
I never got used to like how big the levels were and how long it took.
Yeah, sure.
Also the fact that you had to kill all of the enemies after beating the boss, and sometimes I'm just wandering around the level because I'm stupid, and it took way too long.
Okay. Okay.
So it's weird in the sense that like I have it at cool, but for me personally, I want to put it at like better or awesome. But
but you just can't. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. For like, while we're here, Risk of Rain 2 is what I want from Risk of Rain. So like for me, the second game is awesome, and if I play it more on my own and it like I dive in a bit harder, it might actually be supreme.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Where does the second game fall for you? Just because like
I think it's on this list, so we'll get to it.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I've never played Neo Scavenger. Dungeon of the Endless. Is that the one I literally just... No, Legend of the Dungeon is the one.
No,
I still have it open. Okay, this is the one I'm thinking it is. So Dungeon of the Endless is going to be one of my, like, I have a weird situation with this, because this game I know is objectively really good, and I really like a lot of things about it, but I just haven't had fun with it. Like, I've played it multiple times, and something didn't crack about it for me. And I don't know why, because I like parts about it. It just, feeling of playing it didn't feel satisfying enough to me. I don't know why. Weird.
Yeah, I haven't done this one up yet.
Okay.
Though I believe I do own it.
Delver. So, Delver's an if it's the one I think it is. Yeah. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with Delver in a lot of ways. I just don't like how it looks, and I don't like the first person quality of it because it makes me feel kind of nauseous after a little bit of playing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's really all it is I don't like the weird like voxel look to it, and I get kind of sick playing it. I definitely like 9 out of 10 on Steam and stuff. I could definitely see why people enjoy it. I just don't, and that's it sucks. I really don't. I know like it's become kind of a meme. I really don't like not liking things. Like that sucks. Why would I want to not like something? You know? But yeah. I'm guessing you didn't play it?
I haven't done it yet, no.
Okay. Death Road to Canada, I actually haven't played. Same. I know it, like I know what it's about, and I've seen people play it. I just haven't played it.
Yeah,
so.
I think I've seen some gameplay.
Yeah. Darkest Dungeon. This is an awesome for me. There's so much I love about Darkest Dungeon.
That makes sense.
Why?
Oh, just like it seems like your tone, like the tone of the game. I'm like, yeah, it's Paul.
Yeah, so
it's dark.
It's the darkest even.
There's a witch doctor character.
So this has been like it feels like every time I've streamed in the last week, I've said I really love dungeon crawling. I don't know why. It's always been something I like in video games, of just like exploring derelict and shitty places, and then like ghosts and monsters and whatever could be living there. It's kind of just like the horror, like why I like horror stuff as well. So Darkest Dungeon kind of scratches all those itches. It's an extraordinarily difficult game to crack into, but once you do, like you can strategize how you go about it, and then it becomes playable and like super fun. It does a bunch of different horror things. Like it does a lot of eldritch horror stuff, but it also does some more classical stuff every now and then. I really one of my favorite things about Call of Cthulhu, the tabletop game, and like all this stuff subsequently that comes after it that's based on it, is I really like sanity systems, and this has that sort of thing where like there's a stress system where your characters can get stressed out, and then like their traits start showing up of like one might be abusive, and when he's stressed, so he starts yelling at like the healer. Now the healer's crying all the time and like can't concentrate. It's fucking crazy. This game is like just the worst situation of if the shit in the dungeon doesn't kill you, it's gonna break the brain out of everybody in your party, and they're gonna kill each other or like just end up not being able to do anything. It's so fucking good. And down to the point where there's been games that like have tried to replicate that formula to some success, some of them, and to not such success for some others. But at the end of the day, Darkest Dungeon was like a trendsetter for sure, and one of the best games on this list for me.
Yeah, I had like 9 hours in it, and I want to put in more. Like
that game's hard, man.
I only have 9 hours, but like I think that might have been in like 2 or 3 sessions.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
I put a good chunk in each time, and it just like sucked me in.
Yep.
I think I was also playing it. That might have been on one of my plane rides too, because it's like light enough to play on my Surface. So.
Right.
It's very solid. Right now it's between. I'm gonna put it in better, but I think right now it's like between better and cool, and
sure.
I wanna go back to it with more of a like, how do I really feel about this game mindset, and then
I think if you play it enough to really crack it, where you're just like, okay, I got to the point where I know what team I like and they're strong, but like I still could lose if I fuck up. I think you'll feel like the full effect of it.
Yeah.
It does feel brutal for a long time at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal for sure.
I'm a little scared going back because like it's been so long. I've
Yeah.
forgotten everything.
Pixel Piracy I've never played. I've heard of it, never played it.
No, yeah, it's
So Hand of Fate is one I've been wanting to play for a long time. I'm gonna put this under gonna play. Because why not?
I've never played.
I've never played Heat Signature.
It's on my gonna play list.
Okay. Hero Siege. So, Hero Siege is a decent for me.
That's exactly where I put it.
Yeah. Hero Siege is the type of game that if Division 2 didn't suck me in right now, I could spend hours just like swiping at shit in that game while watching YouTube videos on the other screen instead of like shooting stuff in Division 2. It's not a game I think very hard about, but every time I play it for like 4 hours straight and have a great time doing so. It's just that nice numbers going up loot grind where things are progressively getting harder and harder, but like my character is getting better and better and I'm getting better and better loot, and it just keeps me going. I really like a lot about it. The fact that it's on this tier list is kind of weird to me because it's like the levels change, but the progression is always the same. It's always like, I don't know, like this world and then this world and then this world and whatever. Like, so the only thing that changes is the layout of stuff, but I guess that's enough to count it here, so whatever. But yeah, it sounds like you feel the same way about it. Like, it's just fun.
I mean, it's like, it feels like, I don't know what genre it belongs to, but it feels like it's not really roguelite, but it kind of is,
because it's like, because if this is
so
roguelite, Diablo's roguelite, because you're playing the same character the whole time too. I don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that it's on the tier list, I had to put it somewhere. So that's it's a D. Basically, it's fine. I'm trying to see what game this is. You recognize it?
No. That one? No, not offhand. Something edition.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find out.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Yeah. I feel bad because it looks like I should know it. Like, it looks like it should be familiar. But it looks like Quest Dungeons or something. But yeah, I looked that up and I couldn't find anything, so whatever. Again, haven't played that. I think we're getting into a lot of stuff I haven't played now. Haven't played that. Did you play Road Not Taken?
No.
Okay. So Crawl. How do I feel about Crawl?
It's on my gonna playlist.
So Crawl is like a multiplayer, like it shines in multiplayer, which is why it's kind of hard. It shines in multiplayer, yeah, where two people play against another person. That's like the dungeon, basically. You know what? I'm gonna put it under gonna play. I'll play it again, because I don't know how I feel about it right now. So these are all some more never played. Man, I always wanted to play Road Redemption or whatever, but I never did. That motorcycle. I didn't realize that was a roguelite.
Yeah. Never done it. Never even heard of it, honestly.
I want to play Sunless Sea at some point too.
Sunless Sea, let me see how much time. It's not much. It is not much. 46 minutes.
Oh,
and that one, I think it. I don't know if it's. I don't know where that falls. If it's like roguelite or if it's roguelike, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So Ziggurat's weird because for me, I'm gonna put it on, like, I know it's a decent game, but again, first person, it has to be so, like, so good for me to care about, like, a first person roguelike, you know? I don't know why. I just don't want to, like, feel like I have, like, an instant or a permadeath thing and then have to restart in first person. I don't know why. So this is going to be a problem. There's other games like this. I think, like, Paranormal or whatever. What was that thing called? That, like... Oh, I don't even see it here. Whatever I'm talking about, so I guess never mind. Paranormal something? Paranautical. That's it. Did you ever play Paranautical Activity?
No.
Okay. I'm a little surprised it's not on here. Unless it is and I just don't see it yet. Because Paranautical Activity was basically like Binding of Isaac, but first-person shooter. Sorry, I'm just looking at another thing. Enter the Gungeon. I'm going to do Enter the Gungeon a huge favor and say this is how it is now after the advanced Gungeon and Dragons update. So this is a better right now. Because for me, this was decent, but there was no synergies or anything, and ugh.
See, I put in most, like, I don't have much time in it, but most of that was before it got better.
You need to replay it then, because it's basically a different video game.
Yeah, I've played it a bit since then, and it's currently better. Better, and I'm giving it room, like, maybe it'll get up to awesome for me. But right now it's better. And maybe that doesn't change.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I don't, like, tell me if you've heard this one before. A game like Binding of Isaac, where you're kind of dungeon crawling into, like, these different floors, and every room has different things you need to dodge and shoot until the room opens up and you can continue on, with a shop in every floor, the ability to get different items and upgrades to change how your run is. For the longest time, the biggest problem is that there's still kind of this problem, but it's not as bad, where there's always a gun layout you're gonna want, and some guns are fucking garbage and useless and you'll never grab. So you could objectively have a bad run or a wrong choice. And it's still kind of like that, but with the big update that they released for it, they changed the game enough that it actually feels like it's supposed to. I don't think they're working on the game anymore, like with big updates or anything, so it is fully realized now, and like there are synergies and there's things that work with each other, and you can like make some wacky shit happen. And they added like this weird rat boss fight, and that's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Punch-Out like reference, and they did a lot of cool shit with it. This definitely was a D ranking for me, and it's easily a B now. So they did enough to basically skip skip a full tier. I don't think it's gonna get better though. Like, I think it's a solid B. Okay. Guild of Dungeoneering. I'm going to put this under decent for me. Did you have any strong opinion? Okay. So what this one...
I don't even think I've heard of it.
Guild of Dungeoneering. Is it on your list?
No.
Okay. So what it is almost like a board game or whatever, where you go to different tiles in a dungeon. And in each one there's like enemies that can attack you or whatever. There's perils or like treasure or whatever. And it's all card-based in card-based gameplay. Honestly, it really, really feels like something you would play from a box rather than like in a video game, which is kind of cool. The biggest problem I have with it, just in general, is that it feels like something I would want to play from a box with a bunch of people, like at a table or something. It feels kind of weird as like a solo experience, but I like it because it's basically the prototype for like Slay the Spire. Like it's kind of that sort of thing, but like much, much more basic and less deck builder and more just card battler. So it's pretty basic in a lot of regards, but it was a novel enough idea, so it's a solid D for me.
Okay.
Oh my god, I want to play Convoy so bad. I've been wanting to play that for so long. That's gonna go under gonna play. Did you play Convoy?
I haven't. I don't even think it's on my list.
Okay.
Convoy. What it like? I haven't heard it. Aside from being a banging song.
Convoy. Think
Yeah.
think like FTL,
Oh, okay.
but like Mad Max and tactical, like a tactical
Okay.
fighter type thing.
I mean, I'll toss this on the old list here.
Yeah.
Convoy.
Also, you know how I said that they like that spam bot crashed my computer with all the follows, or like crashed that browser window?
Yeah.
I got 1,000 followers in the last, like, when that happened in like 5 minutes. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna have to report that. Because otherwise it looks like I'm botting, and I'm not.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't play the Flame and Flood. Did you?
I have not, and it's not on my list because it is a roguelike.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay.
I honestly, I had to take out the roguelikes because that it's the same exact thing except maybe double the amount of games.
Sure.
Like, it's fucking ridiculous. And then it adds in stuff like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is there.
Yep.
Suralim is there. Fucking everything is there. Like, it's ridiculous. And I
Yep.
didn't want anything to do with that.
Yep. I get it. I also didn't play Moon Hunters.
I have not done it yet. It's on my gonna play.
That's one I would like to play.
Free.
Is it?
It was free. Maybe it was Twitch. Was it Twitch?
Oh,
Epic Games.
It was definitely Twitch. If it was one of those two, it's not Epic. So I think it was Twitch.
It was both, dude.
You think so?
Let me see.
I mean, maybe.
Moonlighter.
Also, High's Ice. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna say Don't Starve Together.
Dude, no, it was Epic. I have Moonlighter on Epic.
Weird. Don't Starve Together
You missed it.
is better
Never.
because it's the same game
version.
with another person.
Yeah, yeah. That
So
checks out.
yeah, so it's just funner. It's that simple. I don't know what game this is.
Just that.
Deep Dungeons of Doom? Never even heard of it.
No idea.
I'm gonna look it up quickly because I'm interested. Deep Dungeons of Doom. I don't think I've ever even seen this. I have seen this. I've saw somebody play some of this, like on a YouTube video or something, a long time ago. I forgot all about this. Neat. I'll check that out. Okay. I don't know what this is at all. Rise to Ruins? Is that? Do you know this?
No.
I'm going to jump ahead here. I'm just going to start putting stuff that I haven't played away because otherwise we might be here for like fucking ever. Crypt I haven't played. Skyrogue, haven't even heard of.
Those are both on my list.
What is that? Starward Rogue? Haven't heard of.
Rocky Wood is still in my head. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Morph Blade I haven't played. I haven't played this. I've seen that cover so many times, but I've never like bought it or anything. Dungeon Rescue, is that the one I think it is, where it's like a puzzle game to save a dog?
That's what it looks like, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's a tile-based like dungeon thing. Okay. I'm gonna put this under gonna play. Okay. Again, from the last one, haven't played Monolith. Believe it or not, in the 15 minutes we took from that other list to this one, I still haven't played Monolith. I never played Tangle Deep. Apparently this was called Skelly Celeste, so I still haven't played it again. Nova Drift I still haven't played. Dungreed, that sounds familiar. Hold on. Oh, this is one I've been wanting to play. I'm gonna put it there as well.
Yeah, Dungreed is pretty popular from what I've seen. I have Nova Drift under Awesome.
Yeah?
Currently.
Okay. You really like it, right? Like, you've been playing a lot of it.
I've sunk a pretty good amount of time into it. I'm at, what, 18 hours? Something like that. It's real good.
Yeah.
I thought it would be, I thought I would like it less because it does like the thing where you're like doing a build and you probably know what you're doing like from the get-go.
Okay.
You still have like that random element of like what you get, but it's pretty easy to just like wait for the thing that you want and then get it, or there's like a bit of a reroll system. But there's such a fucking variety of different ways to build your little ship so that you can play completely differently that I'm actually fine with it. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how many different directions you can go.
Okay.
And I'm down. Like, I'm down.
That sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't played Sanctuary RPG either. I've been so close to buying that so many times, but I just haven't.
I own it. I just never have. Is it multiplayer by chance? Because that would be
I have no idea. I know it's text-based.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I'm interested in it. Okay. Children of Morta. So Children of Morta, I'm putting under awesome for a few different reasons. First of all, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm not in love with the pixel art style, especially lately. I've gotten super sick of it, but like,
yeah,
this is like high definition pixel art or something. Like, it's very, very pretty. I like that it is an RPG with a story, and like the roguelike elements are you going into the dungeon or the mountain or whatever to find and save people and find like artifacts and stuff like that, and like get to the heart of the mountain where there's like an issue happening. And no matter what, whether you like win or lose, the story continues on, and like you unlock new characters, and as you go through it, every character is part of a family, but they all play completely differently. But what's kind of cool is that they have like family traits that if you're leveling up, the first character you get is John. He's just a standard warrior dude with a sword and a shield, and like his ability is basically to like, I think he does a small charge. He does like an AoE type thing, and he can hold his shield up to like block attacks or whatever. Okay. So like you can level him up and he'll get stuff that like you can power up his AoE, or like you can make it so he can block more damage or whatever. You can upgrade him, but at certain cutoffs, you'll get like, you've unlocked like a passive family trait. So you've made every other character stronger somehow, even if you're playing one character, so you can like bounce between other ones. And they like, the second one you get is, I think, Linda, and she's like an archer, so she plays completely different, where she's moving a lot and shooting arrows and like trapping or like slowing down enemies to try to get away from them and just like do a shitload of damage. But if you get cornered, like she's dead basically. One of the sons is a monk, so he plays completely differently. Another one's like a rogue archetype with like 2 daggers, who's like really fast and dodges a lot and does like a shitload of damage and combos. So yeah, it's really, really cool game. There's so much to like about it. I think it's one of the best games that I've played in a long time.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't gotten to it.
I got a code for that too, so I was stoked, because usually when you get a code for a game, it's because the game's not very good, because people aren't talking about it. But that's when I got a code for it, and I was just like, oh, this is so good.
Fuck yeah, bud.
I didn't play Out There, actually, either. Okay, Downwell.
It's on my to-do list.
You know, for a dude who wants to do a roguelike list, there's not a whole lot that you've played, it feels like.
I know, man.
You're working on it, though. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
I mean, to be fair, there's also a few that I have, like, tried out that are nowhere on this list.
Yeah. Yeah, this list has some weird choices on it, too. Like, I still don't understand why Hero Siege is on here, but...
I mean, they're doing both. They're doing the roguelike and light. So you gotta hit them, you know?
I guess so. So Downwell. Downwell is weird because I think it's right on the cusp of C and D. Like, it's right in there somewhere. I'm just trying to...
Sure.
I'll put it under C. Mainly because for the longest time it was like a phone game. So I think it excels in that format, especially with the vertical play going down the well. Just looked really cool. It's simple enough that like all you did was tap to like jump or shoot or whatever, and like you can move your finger around. That game's really, really cool for how basic it was. But I think it had like a pretty low ceiling. Like, it obviously was a phone game. Like, it wasn't gonna like grow into this huge thing like Binding of Isaac or something. Like, it wasn't going to be a huge like additions every week or every month or every year or anything. It's kind of a one and done little fun game and app, and for what it was, I think it was totally fine. Kind of middle of the road.
Okay.
I didn't play Kingdom. I really don't care about Kingdom.
Yeah, I haven't been counting it. Like, the shit like Don't Starve and Kingdom and whatever, like, I haven't been putting into that category. Or even like Sunless Sea, where it's like it can just take fucking forever. To me, part of the roguelite thing is like our run is not eternal. Like,
yeah,
I want to end at some point.
Sure. All right, Neurovoider. I'm gonna put Neurovoider under decent. I think it's totally fine. Kind of like a top-down perspective Smash TV clone type thing, like a Binding of Isaac. Like, stop me if you've heard this one before, I guess. Actually, it's more like a Nuclear Throne, to be honest with you. I didn't get super into it, so I didn't play a whole lot of it. And frankly, I think what that team is doing with Scourge Bringer right now is far, far superior. But this definitely was like a pretty good baseline entry into doing this type of game, and I think it's probably worth, like, sorry, how much is this? Hold on, I'm just gonna look it up here. Oh, okay, $15 seems a little bit much for me. Like, I wouldn't recommend it at that price on a sale. Like, if you get this for like under 10, I think it would probably be pretty good. But especially because like Scourgebringer is $17.50 Canadian right now, and that's so much better, and that's not even completely out yet. Like, I don't know. This is dated, this one. When did this come out? 2016? Yeah, so 4 years ago, roughly. Neurovoider is fine. It seems like, it's not great to me. Like, Near Avoider's very definitely decent. It's fine. It's just nothing special. Okay. This is where we're going to start getting a little weird. Because I know Flint Hook is good, but I didn't like it. I can't stand it. There's so much about it that's cool, but I fucking hate how it plays.
I feel like mine's gonna be kind of, at best it will be I'd want to put more time into it, but it was definitely one where I like bought it, played it for a little bit, and then hit that refund button.
Yeah.
Like, it did not sit well with me, but I'll be revisiting it.
Flint Hook is definitely one of those games, I think, like Crypt of the Necrodancer, where if you like can get into it and like it, there's a lot to like about that game. I think the art style is good.
Yeah.
I think the gameplay looks fun if you can get your head around the like whole using your hook shot basically to move around and whatnot. I can't, so I fucking hate it. It's that simple. Okay, Neon Chrome. I just want to make sure this is the one I think it is, so I'm going to quickly look it up. Yeah, okay. So it's the top-down perspective shooter. Okay, Neon Chrome. Again, kind of an older one. I don't think it's as good as Near Avoider. I think Near Avoider did a few more things better than it, but like, it's totally fine for a cheaper alternative. Wait, is it cheaper? $17? Oh, no. That's not a good price for this. That's actually crazy.
I think it gets... That was like free on something, wasn't it? Neon Chrome?
Maybe? I don't know. I know it's been like on huge sales and in bundles for stuff.
Okay. I must have gotten it on a bundle because I own it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've never started it.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Another top-down shooter type thing and procedurally generated levels, but I don't know. It just seems like an early concept of a game or something. Like, it doesn't feel fully fleshed out, and I just didn't get super into it, so it's an for me. Lost Castle. Again, I just want to see if it's the one I think it is. No, it isn't, and I've never played this, actually, so that is a never played. Did you ever play that one?
Which one? Sorry, I was looking at something else.
Lost Castle?
Gone. No.
No, okay.
On my list, apparently. I was looking at the wrong image then. Like, I had the stream partially covered, so I thought, yeah, anyway. Yeah, next one.
Goner is a one that I've never played, and frankly, I kind of don't want to. I don't think it looks that good.
I have played Goner,
okay.
Actually. I did it up on Switch. I put about 2 hours into it, and that was kind of all I needed to know.
Okay. What type of game is it?
I even have a little review written.
Oh.
Actually, it's not a little review. It's like a page and a quarter.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I've been doing for all these, dude.
Oh, you've been doing... Oh, are you going to do, like, with Tumblr? Like, a small write-up?
No. I mean, I'm going to just do the tier list thing, like, on YouTube or whatever at some point, or stream it and then put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I'll link to my doc with all the reviews and shit. So it's like a 2D thing. The art style I really like. The music is garbage. Like, they could have done literally anything more interesting, and it would be fine. I like the concept. Like, you have, like, 3 parts. Like, you have a mask, your gun, and, like, a backpack. And the mask is, like, a passive effect, like health or not dropping weapons when you get hit or something like that. The gun is as usual, and the backpack is like your active ability sort of deal. So like an extra jump or whatever.
Yeah.
one of the things it does really well is like the combination of you're like shooting stuff, but also you get a ton of points for like jumping on enemies Mario style and like comboing off of that. So like you just keep hopping on shit, and some enemies take like 2 jumps or 3 or whatever. And that part is like really fun. Like
Okay.
going through the game to like the regular levels is really enjoyable, especially the ones that have like some verticality to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty good, and I really do like the art style. But
Yeah.
it like you get to the first boss fight and everything just gets fucked. Like
Oh.
it is literally just a room filled with enemies, and the bosses are just like 3 big enemies that kind of they like do a little build up and then they just like launch in whatever direction you're in. So you have to like misguide them. But you have all the other enemies to worry about, and if you hop off of one, you'll probably run into a different one. If you're on the
Mm-hmm.
ground, like you can't hop up on anything unless the boss is there, and it's just risky. This would be fine. Like this sort of thing would be fine, except if unless you have like the certain mask, you drop all of your shit when you get hit. The invincibility period when you get hit is not high, and you can't dodge, and you can only shoot left and right. Those things combined makes it fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Which is terrible because it's really fun like up until that point. Like you get into the groove of it and you're like, this is cool, this is dope, I'm like sailing, I'm getting points, and then just
No good.
um so yeah, I dropped it into like okay tier. I don't
Okay.
think it's truly bad, but
Uh-huh.
it's eh. I
Yeah.
guess for this, yeah,
Okay.
for this tier it's eh.
It's
I
eh.
wouldn't call it a true fail, but you really have to enjoy what it's doing in order to proceed. And sometimes you
Okay.
can. Like if you yeah, it's nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wizard of Legend.
That one
Okay.
is I haven't done it, but I really want to. It might be next after I'm done with Nova Drift.
I'm trying to decide where it is for me. I'm pretty sure it's decent. Um, yeah, it's definitely not higher than a D for me, a D grade. Uh, it has some really cool ideas in it. It has a really cool like magic combat system of you playing a wizard and like depending which spells you have or whatever, that's like basically your loadout and whatnot. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some cool things about it, but I just kind of didn't like how it played. Just at the end of the day, so.
Okay.
And this is one I bought twice. I think I have it on Steam and Switch.
Oh shit.
I jumped hard on that one to try to force it, and that might have been a problem too. Usually if I try to force something, it doesn't turn out well, so I might have doomed it to fail from the get-go. I really wanted to like it. So this is on your to-do list as well, you said?
Yeah, yeah. Pretty I mean, I want to balance it, right? I don't want to like play all of the things I know are going to be decent for me and then be
Sure.
left with shit,
Yep.
but I don't want to do all the bad stuff at once, so trying to
Yep.
mix it up.
Cave Blazers. Okay.
Also on the to-do list.
Basically the scuffed Spelunky. Spelunky Risk of Rain combo almost.
Okay.
You know what? I'll put this under decent. Again, it's all these ones in decent are hard to talk about. I have a real hard time talking about things that I just find okay. Like, I can talk at length about things I really like, and I can talk even longer about things I don't like. But, like, things that are just okay are just that. They're, like, it's a service, like, it is a cave crawling, like, dungeon crawling type game that plays almost like a Risk of Rain. And, like, Spelunky or whatever, and it's totally cute and fine and a decent way to spend some time, but it's not something I would necessarily recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's on your list, you said, right?
Yeah.
All right. Tumbleseed might be a wish I never played because I fucking hate that game. I absolutely hate it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I really fucking
Damn.
dislike Tumbleseed. I think it plays like, I think that style of game is just bad, of just like moving. It's a novel idea, but I think it feels bad to play. I have it on Switch. I tried to like it, and I wish I could get my money back for it because I'm never gonna play that piece of shit again.
That's wild. Okay, I'm looking forward to trying it now.
Oh, I was just like, this is where Ben says it's supreme.
No.
So
funny. I mean, it looks very hesitant for me, just because like it's another one where like I haven't really played another game like it in terms of gameplay. I think, right?
Sure.
Like it's not.
You've probably played something like it if you've ever been to like a state fair or something. Like it's like basically that like thing where there's just like a giant vertical thing and there's holes randomly and you have to like move a there's like a platform that you have to like put a rolling ball and like move it back and forth with like, and make sure you don't hit any of the holes or whatnot. I fucking hate it. I keep talking about how like stuff like Necrodancer and what was the other one? There was something else where I was just like, I could see it just be polarizing of like, you like either like how Flint Hook, yeah, you either like how it plays or you don't. And I fucking hate how this thing plays. I actually hate it. Flint Hook, I can have some fun with. I've never had any fun with Tumbleseed. I absolutely hate it. That being said, if you like that style, this might be supreme for you because it's so different and it's the only thing that plays like it on this whole fucking list, that if you enjoy it, you won't get another like situation like it. So that might be the most polarizing game I've ever seen. I absolutely hate it though. I'm on that side of it.
Okay. Interesting.
Reigns. I'm gonna put Reigns as decent.
On my list. It's just called Reigns.
Yeah. So this is a mobile game that they released on other stuff. Reigns is Tinder, but for an RPG story, basically. So you play a king who's in like, or a ruler, I guess, not necessarily a king. Although I think in the game you are a king, actually. Never mind. And situations will pop up on a card that's like, this thing's happening, like villagers are revolting because they're not getting enough bread or something. And then you could like swipe left to be like, tell those peasants to get back to work or we'll all starve. And like the other way will be like, kill the protesters and like whatever. Like there's like different options you choose and like different paths you choose, and it changes completely every time. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to balance like how the people feel about you, how the military feels, how strong your military is, how much power the church has, and something else I can't remember. Because if any one of them gets too low or too high, it ends up with your death. So like, if the peasants hate you, they're going to like form a coup, and they're going to hang you and kill you, and like you're basically trying to live out as long as you can your reign. So you might die at like 20 years old or whatever if like you get everybody to hate you and they overthrow you. If the church gets too much power, they take over the state basically and exile you because they don't like, this is now like or like by the rights of God, like you're not a true ruler and blah, blah, blah. If you have low military power, I think you get like overrun by like other opposing nations, or if they're too strong. I can't remember. There's like different ways you can fuck up. So you got to keep everything kind of balanced. And every choice you make kind of like sets that balance off in different ways or whatnot. There's also like weird little mini games in it where in one of them I got lost in a dungeon, and then it's like, okay, you're lost in the labyrinth or whatever. And then I like swipe right to turn right. It's like, okay, you go forward and there's this. Do you want to open the chest or do you want to keep going? It's like, okay, let's keep going. Let's go left or whatever. Like, and you're kind of like doing this weird little dungeon crawling thing, and then a skeleton kills you, or you're stuck in there for eternity because you never got out. Like, it's a really, really cool game. I don't know necessarily why they released it on like Steam and stuff, because I think the way it's set up like a Tinder thing is kind of the novel way to play it, and just kind of like in small bursts on your phone. I don't think it's the type of game you play for like an hour.
Yeah.
It's cool though. I like it.
Nice.
Kingdom New Lands also haven't played. I just don't care about that game. It looks fine, but I just don't care about it. Streets of Rogue.
Yeah, bud.
This is easily I wish I never played it. All right, Mothership.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Son of a bitch.
So, I'm going to be real with you. The first time I ever played this, it was
Yeah.
Until I
That
played
makes sense.
about an hour of it, and then it went to better.
Yeah.
Mainly the fact that there's so many different characters in it, and the character you play, you actually use how they play to like do the different missions and like objectives on each level is actually amazing to me. Like, if you're playing a hacker, you're not going to want to like go in and maybe kill this guy guns a-blazing or whatever, because you're like, you suck with weaponry. So what you might want to do is like find out some information about him, or like hack the door open, go in through a back way, or like do something to like cut off the circulation of air to like where he's sleeping or something. Like,
Yeah.
I really like how differently those all play, but maybe more importantly is the fact that you can play with other people. That online works well, unlike a lot of these games where the online doesn't work well. And you can kind of like tackle things, different situations, like in different ways as different characters, and help each other out to get through it. It's a really, really cool game. I'm actually super surprised at how good it is.
Yeah. Being like, it's one of those things where on its own, I mean, me and Hank talked about this a bit. Like, if you're like the banker or whatever on your own,
Yeah.
it's doable and it's fine and whatever. But like, once you start playing with other people and you're all like random wacky shit, that's when it starts getting like super fun. And it's
Yeah.
I enjoy it on my own just as much,
Sure.
essentially. But I don't sway into those characters as much on my own also.
Sure.
But yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. Agreed. Mother Gunship. I think this is the first.
Never even heard of it.
Oh, I think this is the first person shooter roguelike I'm gonna put decently high. And by decently high, I mean literally decent. So one step above.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like a dungeon crawling game where you're going through a ship, like a mother ship or whatever, and clearing out the rooms of the different mechs and robots and shit, but everything is gun based in it. Did you ever play Tower of Guns?
No. Also
Okay.
on my list.
Okay, so Mother Gunship is the sequel or the spiritual successor or whatever to Tower of Guns, where the big thing about it is that you get gun parts in it and you make your guns. So you might get a gun that is like, I don't know, like a standard gun, but then you can connect it to 4 barrels. So now it shoots 4 shots at a time. Or like you can make those 4 barrels have like something else on them. So those shots are all something else. Like, so you're not building your run. You are literally building your gun. And you have 2 of them.
Saucy.
It's pretty saucy. Mixed on top of this, it has the Tower of Guns thing of every room has just like a shitload of bullets coming at you. It's like a bullet hell of a bunch of shit coming at you. So you might want to like your right gun might want to be like a laser with like a spread cannon thing on it, like barrel on it, so that you just get like this giant like spread of laser to like take out a big enemy, but your other gun might want to have like 8 barrels on it to just like shoot a lot of like balls out of it or something. It's really cool. It's actually a very cool game.
Nice.
First
I'm
person
gonna toss
shooter
it on
though,
the list.
man. Again, it's
I
like
mean, yeah.
after
It could be worse.
Mhm.
Be worse. Have you played Strafe by chance?
That sounds familiar. Let me look it up here.
It was a free game, I think, on Twitch.
Was it?
That's where I got it from.
It is a
Strafe.
$18 game. I remember this. I didn't play this. I didn't buy
You
it for
shouldn't.
sure. Yeah. I remember people talking some shit about this game.
If you really, really, really like Doom or
I do.
something like that genre,
Yeah, I do.
like old school Doom,
Yep.
then maybe check it out.
Okay.
I didn't like it's roguelite. It kind of suffered from the thing of like you're finding stuff to help your run, but it's like just kind of basic bitch stat increases. It's nothing too saucy.
Right.
And when you find random weapons on the ground, they're almost always not as useful as your primary
Yeah.
weapon that you chose to start out with.
Yeah, I
It
think this is a
just
problem that Mother Gunship could have had, but instead they did the cool thing of like you just build your gun. Like
yeah.
like, do you want to like make your gun do this giant shot? Then maybe like use this giant barrel on it so this huge fucking bullet comes out of it or something. Like
Yeah, this is like the super boring version of that.
yeah, it sounds like it for sure.
Oh, you found a gun part. Your gun does 1% more damage. Okay.
Yeah,
Neat.
yeah, it sounds kind of
If even that
soulless
exciting.
for sure.
Yep.
Oh, Dead Cells.
Ed Cells.
Where would you put this before I'm trying to decide where it's going for me. So,
I dropped it in better.
okay.
And I think talking it out with Hank actually helped me decide that.
Was it lower for you?
I was debating between better and awesome.
Okay. So, I'm putting it under awesome because I'm debating between supreme and awesome, but I don't think it's a supreme cut. I think it's just an awesome one. What lowered the quality in your mind after talking with Hank?
When I was really started talking about like the scrolls and how fucking boring they are. Like it's fine, but like once I have my run going, I don't like that there's so much attached to each individual weapon, maybe. Like, oh, you have this thing that randomly can like whenever you get a hit, it like drops some oil or something. And then you have a fire
What are we
grenade
talking
or
about
something
when you
that
say
burns enemies.
scrolls? Sorry, I just want to be on the same page.
The power-up things. You choose red, green, or
Okay.
purple.
Right, yeah. Okay, I understand what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. They've gone through a few iterations now, and all of them have been kind of boring. At least the first one was like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna be a glass cannon. But that was like always the correct choice, unless you were terrible at the game. But now it's like, you're just giving a flat damage bonus to those colors and some health. Like, it's not very spicy, and it's not very sexy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you would do with it, but I don't think it's that. And I wish they would maybe instead of like, I feel like what they should do is maybe incorporate like a leveling system to give you health, like to give you your health and damage, and then have the scrolls that you find. That's where you do like oh, burning, poison, bleeding, biters crawl out of dead ends, shit like that. Maybe.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Just like spitballing off the top of my head, because like right now you might have a solid like synergy going with some of your weapons, but then you get too deep into the game and all of your weapons are shit because they're tier 1.
When was the last
It's in
time
a
you
weird
played? Just out of curiosity.
uh not that long ago, actually. I started doing it up a little bit again.
Okay. So
Um
like you've like checked out the different mutations and stuff like that
I last played on January 29th.
of this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely recent enough. You didn't find any of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stuff that
That
like
added stuff.
yeah, for sure.
It definitely makes it better. I think if it like I think initially I would have put it at like cool.
Oh,
Maybe
without
even
that?
decent.
Sure.
Without that sort of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like the level of it, like what they've done with the levels and how you progress through everything. Like the Watcher was a terrible fucking boss to like
The
end with.
Watcher. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I hated it because I got up to him and it was like you're just there, and then it was so different for me from the rest of everything. I don't know. I I think it's great. Like, I think the combat is so satisfying. The
Yeah.
movement is very sad. Like, everything about it is very good. Um, and maybe that will, maybe like it will bump itself up to awesome. Um, Part of my issue along with that is, I think at a certain point, like it will get to a certain point where it's like, do I want to like, will I be playing this? Can I just play this like I play Isaac or like Slay the Spider or something?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, I just disagree with you. I think that the
that's fine.
combat system outweighs any problems I have with the run thing, because for me, it's all about how it mechanically feels that it excels at. It never was meant to like be an Isaac for me, so I'm totally okay with
Sure.
overlooking those other problems. That being said,
And that would
if it did have the Isaac stuff, that would be a supreme for me. That would make it an S
that would
tier.
if it had the Isaac, if it had like anything close to what Isaac has, yeah, that's an easy S.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy.
Agreed.
And if it went if it, like I think that is, if I were to put it in awesome, it would be because of the combat.
The
Like,
combat
just
is
that
so
game feels
clean
so
and good.
fucking good.
It
And
does.
everything feels weighty.
Yeah.
And some games struggle with that. Like when you hit shit, it feels like you're hitting it. It feels good.
And honestly, just the fact that like basically this was at a B or C for me for a bit until they reworked shields, and shields are so fucking fun now. I don't remember the last time I played a game where they made the shield like a good weapon of just like, there's the shields that like you can use it and then dash through things to like just fucking annihilate like a line of dudes or whatever with a good well-timed block. Or if you like block certain attacks, you like break off gold teeth from characters to like get more money to buy shit. Those shields are so fucking good. It's crazy how good they made them. Because they were so bad before that update. They were terrible. Now I just... Oh, and bows. Bows, every single bow feels different. You got the really fast bows.
Yeah.
You got like the really, really slow one-shot like sniper type bow that can like one-shot basically anything, but if you have to reload or like you have to move, you're fucked. Like, it's really cool. I really like that game a lot.
I do like how they handle the bows. And I'm gonna keep playing it. Like I don't think it's totally solidified. I have
Fair, yeah.
32 hours. But I want to put, again, most of that, like, I had burned myself out when it released.
I had the
So
same
I need to
problem
play
actually.
more when it's, yeah. So I need to see more of like the new stuff, and I've been really enjoying it. But yeah,
It's also kind of cool because the newest update is like the legacy update or something, and you can literally play any big update version of the game they've ever released. So you can like play
gotta drop that day one.
You could play the like OG dead. We actually talked about this on Top Down Perspective of like, because they're doing this, they literally created like so many different versions of the speedrun of that game, because now there's like OG percent, there's gonna be like this percent, and like it's fucking crazy because they're all valid now, because in game without any exploits you can choose what version of the game you want to play, and that's just such a crazy idea. It's like, hey, do you want to play this? Hey, do you want to play Binding of Isaac when soy milk didn't exist? It's like, fuck yeah, I do. And all I have to do is choose this option in the menu? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I think that game is really good. But, man, if they added synergies in there, that is a whole new level of that game.
Oh, it would be so delicious.
It'd be so good.
Could you fucking imagine?
Yeah, I do every night.
Oh.
Into the Breach.
Didn't do that one yet.
So this is a B for me because I like tactics.
Yeah, I watched a good chunk of it, but I just haven't played it.
So the thing I like about this game is that it actually disguises itself as a weird tactics, turn-based tactics game. What it actually is a puzzle game, and I love puzzle games. I love how you can always see what the enemies are going. There's like the learning thing of you always know how an enemy's going to act after you like have dealt with them enough times. You always know when they're going to do it, because it's like you do everything and then the enemy does everything or whatnot. So you can plan these weird like domino murders where, okay, this enemy is going to get like move here, which is going to activate this, which is going to activate this. Then that moves into this enemy, and you can like just create these giant fucking murder puzzles on this thing. Yeah. Or you could have this great plan, and then you didn't realize that that enemy actually jumps, and you're fucked, and you lose instantly. Like, it's so good and so fun. I think it looks great. I really like the kind of progression system of unlocking stuff for the mechs or whatever for later on, and like you can kind of build some loadouts in your mechs to do different stuff. Like you could make this mech a pusher, and like the whole reason they exist is to push this monster, where this one can like shoot 5 of them in a row with their laser or something. Like there's so many different ways you can tackle those things, and I just think that game is super, super cool, and I really, really like it. I wish I had it on Switch because I would have played more of it. It's not the type of game I like to sit at my computer and play. I think that would be great on the road, though. Okay, Immortal Redneck. Did you ever play this?
I've not, but I know it's like it's a first-person thing, right?
I was going to say, like, what you were saying about Strafe kind of goes with this. It's like a Doom game where you're first person and there's a bunch of shit trying to kill you and whatnot.
Yeah, it's on my list.
I'm gonna put this under A just because I think this game is like, if there was varying degrees of E rank or A, it would be the highest point of A, right below D rank, but it's not D rank.
Plus.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a quick switch around. Mother Gunship is an easy cool, because I think this is probably a low D rank. And okay, those two aren't in the same tier of quality.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm good with that switch. Okay, Moonlighter. AKA Racketeer. Man, this is kind of a struggle for me.
I haven't played it yet.
No? Okay.
That free product added to the horde.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I got it, it just wasn't on my radar that much.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of these games, like, before looking into doing this, I had just not heard of.
Yeah, fair. This is a C rank for me. This is cool. This is probably like a high C rank, low B. If it's probably not B for me. I don't think it just hangs with the stuff I have under B. It's a very, very strong game. The gimmick of it is fun, where you do the like dungeon crawling stuff to find items to sell to people for money, and like find artifacts to like progress your character. You use the money to like make the town better, so you can like buy more stuff to make your character better, to get better stuff and like sell more things. Is a really, really satisfying, nice loop. It has the like old school Legend of Zelda feel when you're in the dungeon, or the Binding of Isaac feel. More Legend of Zelda though, because there's no real like crazy shit going on with your tears or anything. It's nothing like that. It's more like you using a weapon and dodging out of what the ways of stuff and whatnot. Yeah, it's a cool game, but I can easily put it down like when I'm done for a session. It's not addictive to me, and I don't like feel like I need to do another run. And again, the run aspect of it is like so minimal, it almost doesn't belong here, really. It's again just one of these like the dungeons are procedural. It's like, yeah, but I'm playing the same character in the same city every fucking night. Like, it just one part of it changes. But it is what it is. I don't know. I'm gonna stop complaining about like this shouldn't be here, because whatever. It doesn't matter.
Such a dumb genre of games anyway.
Risk of Rain 2. I think Risk of Rain 2 is better. It's a B.
Okay.
It isn't fully out. It doesn't have an end. It's going to get more items. It's going to get more bosses. It's going to get more everything. And at that point, it'll easily be an A. For right now, I would actually, like, the fact that the multiplayer works is a huge step up for, like, it's easily going to be an S at some point for me. Easy. I just don't get as much enjoyment out of it as I did the first Risk of Rain. And I think that's mainly because I want to feel like I can build up to the point where I beat a final boss that's very hard. I don't want to just loop infinitely.
Yeah.
Like, because even in Isaac, you win at some point. You beat a very difficult boss. I think that's kind of important.
Yeah.
I don't want to, and that was actually one of my problems with Nuclear Throne, is that you loop infinitely. I want to, like, get so powerful that I one-shot, like, something with, like, 1,000,000 health or something. Like, I want that to be the goal. I want to be able to loop if I need to, which you can in, like, basically all of these top-tier games, and then go to the final boss, but I want there to be an end. So, Risk of Rain 2 doesn't have that yet, and I think it suffers a little bit for it. It doesn't have a whole bunch, like, it needs more items in it, and it needs those items that it adds eventually to bridge the gap between items that exist currently, because it feels like there's a lot of beginnings to some cool synergies that don't ever finish. Like, you basically are always going to get the same things, and at some point, because you're looping forever, you're always going to, literally always going to get the same things. But, like, the fact that there's the 3D printers where you can, like, build runs using other items, and, like, you can buy certain things by trading things in, there needs to be items put into the game that, like, bridge together certain builds that, like, make that a viable thing. Because right now, it's like, why would I want to do this unless I just want, like, a stupid amount of attack or something? Like,
and there's, I mean, for me, I have it in awesome, and it probably will go up to S. And I think it, like, to an extent, it's filling the space of, like, the original game, because I just happened to not get into it. I didn't know it existed, really.
For sure.
But
it feels so much like the original game too.
Yeah. Going, like, I've played a bit of the original still, and it does feel like a very good step into 3D. Like, they did it extremely well.
Yeah.
Part of the thing for me with, like, getting maybe similar things each game is, like, the fact that they stack, though, is just very satisfying.
Yeah. Yep. And
Like, I
on your
don't mind
character.
it that much.
Oh, that's so good
The
seeing
fact that
it
they
on your
show on your
character.
character, yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, the multiplayer is a huge thing.
Yep.
The character variety is already very good, and I don't think they're done yet, right?
No, they're not done yet.
Yeah. So it's really good. I really enjoy that game.
Yeah, I agree. Slay the Spire. Easy S. It's one of the best games ever made. It's created and popularized a genre people didn't realize they wanted. It's created and so many games wanting to be like it on the store. Some doing some interesting stuff, most kind of failing. Honestly, the biggest problem I have with Slay the Spire is super, super, super personal and subjective. I just don't like how it looks. It plays miraculously. I like the different characters. I like the different builds you can make. I like that each character can have different builds. I like that you can fuck yourself over by taking dumb cards or too many cards. I like that you can pull yourself out of a hole by just like playing smarter at some point. I like that there's an ending. I like that there is the ability to loop indefinitely by doing like ascension runs to get harder and harder until it becomes like very, very hard, or at least it always matches your skill level as you progress. There's so much I could say about how much I love this game that like there's no way it's not an S rank. It's one of the best games.
Yeah. It's really good. I actually haven't played it since the new character came out.
You have to try that new character. That's my favorite character.
It looks so good. It looks so good. I've seen gameplay and shit. I'm like, this looks fucking ridiculously good.
That new character is so good. It's actually ruined the game a little bit for me because I don't want to play anything but that character. Because I really like feeling like in the same turn, I can take 40 damage like from something and then dish 40 out the next turn. Like, it's fucking weird. Yeah. Or you can die. You could literally die on like turn 3.
Yeah. Do you have it on Switch?
I don't. I only have it on PC.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I've eyed it a few times.
It's my go-to.
Yeah.
For Switch, like if I'm in like for plane rides, I'm just fucking playing Slay the Spire for 9 hours, I guess. Like whatever.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah, it's been like, or even if I'm just at home, like just I'm in bed next to my computer playing it.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's kind of that's like like you mentioned, you know, it's like the subgenre of a genre. And it's like the leader of that, and also just the best.
Totally.
Maybe forever.
I hope like not. I hope something takes it down.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But there's just been so many shitty card games now.
Yeah, there have been, for sure. Man, what a good game.
Easy, yes.
Easy. Okay.
Speaking of...
Okay. So... This is gonna.
I don't actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh no! Go on. I want to see what you do.
You ready for the controversial thing?
Yeah, do it.
I'm being generous and putting it under E. I don't like how.
Same.
I don't like how RNG based it is. It is like there. Okay, this game has a lot of charm to it. The dice are cool. Yes. The way they different dice play are very cool. At the end of the day, though, it's like I like Slay the Spire because that game always feels like it fairly gives me the tools I either need to like succeed miraculously or fail stupendously. Dicey Dungeons always feels literally like, well, I'm rolling dice. Like at the end of the day, I'm rolling some dice. This is literally RNG no matter how we gussy this up. And I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. I just feel like I outweighted the game.
Yeah. I'm wondering, did I like write down how much time I put in this? I think I got close to it. Dicey Dungeon. I think I got almost the 2 hours and I refunded it because yeah, it felt like super watered down Slay the Spire. Like you're trying to do the
Yeah.
Slay the Spire thing, but it never felt like it worked as well. Even
it's
close
weird
to.
because if Slay the Spire didn't exist, this is probably an awesome. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird because, like, literally just the fact that it's doing something I really like, but not as good as a thing that, like, not perfectly, and there is a product that does it perfectly. It just showcases, like, how kind of basic it is. Because, again, I feel like I'm winning or losing. I earned the losses in Slay the Spire, too. Like, I feel like I've either earned the losses because I didn't do the math correctly in my head. I took the wrong cards. I took too many cards. I got rid of too many cards. Whatever. I earned the wins because I played perfectly. Everything worked out fine. I had a plan. I had the cards. Like, even with a little bit of bad luck, I can still pull out a win and Slay the Spire. Dicey Dungeons, the problem when you're literally rolling dice is no matter how you change those dice numbers and gussy it up, you are literally rolling the dice and you are playing with the patience and knowledge that at some point the dice and statistically will be in your favor, especially like if you're able to alter some things with it. But it never feels like I'm winning. It feels like the game let me progress. And that's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that checks out. Yeah, it's actually one of the ones I'm debating if I want to go back to it. Like, is 2 hours enough to give it a justified thing? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe. That's a hard one.
It feels bad, but like, yeah, I don't know.
But again, it's not a fail.
With Slay the
like,
Spire,
it's fine.
With Slay the Spire existing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, without Slay the Spire, it's probably C. It's probably cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Noita? How the hell do you say this shit?
Noita, I think.
Noita? Okay. So, I know this game isn't fully out yet. It's early access. This is kind of an eh for me. The big draw for it is this like particle-based physics system of like water and sand and also fire that spreads. But like, besides that looking kind of neat in like weird like little set piece areas where that really comes about, it just kind of plays like a bad platforming like shooter of types.
Yeah.
I just don't like how it plays.
I put that was another one where I did about 2 hours and then refunded, but it wasn't because like I truly disliked it, but I'm like, oh, this isn't what I want to be playing right now. Like, I just know that I'm not going to get to this for a long time, so fuck it, I'm refunding.
Sure.
It just
it has room to grow, I think.
Yeah. It also felt like very slow. Like maybe you get there and then your like stuff starts popping once you know exactly like more so what you're doing, but it felt like a slow learning thing as opposed to like most of the other games we've talked about where you're just like, oh, okay, I'm doing this immediately.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine-ish. There's actually one game not on here that I've played additionally.
Which one?
It's called Flame Break.
Flame Break, okay.
It's all one word. I think I don't think it's anything amazing. I gave it average, and I think for the right person, it could actually be like
higher than average,
above average. Yeah. Okay. It might be like for me right now. I would put it like in this tier list. Probably cool, I guess, is the true average. Okay. I would say that for the right person, it could be better or even awesome. I don't know if it would ever hit S for anybody, but
okay, sure.
The biggest turnoff is that it looks exactly like a fucking mobile game.
Like, yeah, I'm looking at it now. Like it's definitely very.
It looks like it was ripped from a mobile game, but it wasn't. It's weird as fuck. And actually, one of my problems is like, it kind of behaves like that sometimes. Like,
Oh.
You are physically slow. You know when you're playing Isaac and you're just slow and you just want a speed upgrade?
Yep.
That's how that game feels almost 100% of the time. Except you get like 3 speed upgrades and it doesn't make that much difference. Like, you know you're doing a little more, but you don't feel it enough. And that's kind of what held it back for me. I think it's pretty fun. You get like your let me open my my little review just to reference. You get to, instead of Rogue Legacy where you're choosing like heirs to your character and then they have traits, this one combines like a combination of skills, races, and weapons. So you could be like a giant crossbow thing with a meteor strike and a teleport.
Okay.
Or like a fairy with a sword and like a dodge sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they each class has its own ability and like stats and that sort of thing. So I think it's fun. Like, it was kind of easy to drop. I only have 7 hours in it.
Only.
Jesus. Only, yeah. It was kind of easy to drop, honestly. Like, after I kind of figured out what was going on and like how to play a little bit, it was kind of easy to do. And I might go back to it. It's really weird because it looks like shit. But like,
yeah, it kind of does.
Well,
uh-huh.
Like, yeah. My main issue was like the slowness thing, and then just like you're gonna be doing certain things like, oh, okay, well, I have a giant with a sword, so I know I'm gonna be going for like this kind of build. Which is sort of fine, except it's still, there's like a lot of stat-based things which just aren't as sexy.
Sure.
And then it's not like quite as varied, like something like Nova Drift, where yeah, you're doing a build, but there's so many different ones that I don't care.
Right.
It's in an interesting spot. I think if it ever hits like a huge sale, I think it's worth like checking out maybe.
Yeah, because it's like $10 US, which is kind of a steep price. I looked up actually the creators of it, and it seems like the other games they've done was like a free game that you can play like in browser or something, and 2 mobile games. So it makes sense that it's built kind of like a mobile game.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't mean they have to skin it like one. Damn.
Yeah, it doesn't look too terrible. It definitely looks like amateur-ish. Like they could have maybe, or they didn't want to pay for like an artist.
Yeah, it looks like the stereotype though.
It does,
like,
yeah, for sure.
It's rough. But I mean, I call it a sleeper hit, but it's not like a hit. It's a sleeper good game that I think not a lot of people know about, but someone could get like, 20 hours. I'd be surprised if I don't stop playing that game with less than 25 hours at some point.
Also,
like, I'll get more time.
I'm going to go ahead and say Scourgebringer so far is a cool for me. It's a C.
Okay.
That has huge potential. Could easily go to A if they do some things right, and because it's not fully out. So, but for right now, it's a cool. It just has so much potential behind it. But here's my list. I feel good about this. I'm looking at it over now because usually what I like to do at the very end is see if there's anything I would change around. And I think everything here feels okay to me. Like, mainly because it really helps talking out my what I'm thinking. I think I would put Reigns a little higher. I think it's average. It's like mainly that as a phone game, it's good, but like as something you would sit down at, I don't think you would do that. Also, it's not a game that you would play for more than like 2 minutes at a time or like 5 minutes at a time. So it's kind of weird to just be like, oh, this thing that you play when you're like taking a shit or whatever. Yeah, this is bad. It's like, no, it's good. Like it's totally engaging and fun. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you compare that to something like Binary. You know, this game that's lasted for 7 years, that like is consistently
Yeah.
being updated, has the biggest cult following on the internet to the point where they've made their own shit, and the developer has noticed and said, hey, do you want to make this official for us? That's been out on every system, that's been like played by everybody, to the point where everybody that talks about roguelikes bring the title up. You know that thing? Yeah, that and Reigns, right? Like, how do you even compare those two? It's so weird, you know? That's kind of the one thing I don't like about tier lists in general, when they're not... So, like, movie tier lists, I find fine. Because it's like, yeah, we should rank all the things like Star Wars. But, like, ranking, like, FTL against Slay the Spire against, like, Delver... Like, I don't know. Some of these are like, one dude literally made this in his basement or whatever, and then like made a few $1,000s off of it. And one of them became a fucking genre defining like $1 million money maker. I don't know. That's fucking weird.
I'm super curious to see where Isaac stands like after the next update.
Yeah.
It's goddamn.
Yep.
Like, Afterbirth, like Rebirth was obviously great. Afterbirth was, I think, mostly warm welcome, but there was like some people who were not a fan. Afterbirth Plus was pretty, I think, kind of controversial, but still overall fine. And then there was like those the booster pack things, which were, I think, better than Afterbirth Plus overall in terms of like items and stuff, but it was just kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But Anti-Birth was really fucking good. And the fact that we're getting true multiplayer is kind of ridiculous. Like that, if they do that right, that's a, like, fuck, maybe we need a double S tier. Like,
Yeah.
that would be absurd. And honestly, I think it might even be like, I would even want like a double S tier for it if the modding was decent and they didn't fuck it up and make it convoluted. Because like the fact that it's so hard, like removing an item from a game should be an easy mod in the, like, for a game that has mod support, and it's not. Like, it's very convoluted to be like, oh, I want to take out this item or balance it somehow. Nope.
Yeah,
Really
that means they
not
fucked
that
up.
easy. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure. All right, I'm excited to see your full list when you've actually gone through like all of these, basically.
It's gonna be a long time. I mean, what do you like? Part of my thing is like, how long do you put into a game to like be able to talk about it for this genre, especially? Like something like Isaac, where people are like getting all of the things unlocked after like 200 hours. Like, what do you do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's an answer, frankly.
Yeah,
I just don't.
I've been feeling it out. Like, what was it? Which one was the super low one? Was it Strafe? Yeah, I put 0.2 hours into Strafe, and I'm like, yep, this is meh. This is meh tier. I don't care about this at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know, what can you do?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's like maybe dependent on how much I can write about it. Like I have like 2/3 of a page from like the 15 minutes or whatever I did up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know, because like I guess none of these games, so these games have significantly changed in years of development of adding stuff to them, but they haven't significantly changed in how they play within the first hour. Like, Gungeon in the first hour is the same as it is in the 1000th hour. It's just that you've seen more different, like, variations of how that could be, but you're always still dodging and shooting a gun of some sort. with like some power-ups or whatnot against like the same enemies. And Binding of Isaac is always literally the same enemies, like same pools of enemies, so when you get them is all different, except for like the final ones. It's again, it essentially plays the same in the first hour as it does later. That one's still a little weird though, because like the way the items change how you shoot things does make it feel like significantly different. So I would think you would need a few more hours of that. But like, I think it's a game per game basis of like how long you need to really feel it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of it is like, especially with like Isaac or Gungeon or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the time it takes to get good enough to evaluate it. Like when I first played, the first time I played Gungeon, like I got fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's a me problem. Like I wasn't used to doing that sort of gameplay, especially coming from Isaac. So
yeah,
there's like that grace period and then whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or even like with Flame Break, like that was probably maybe an hour, 2 hours of like really getting adjusted to what the fuck the game was. And then 5 hours of like, okay, this is fine.
Yep. For sure.
Nova Drift was actually kind of the exception, I think.